Welcome to PHINMS training. Today is November 14th, 2010, and today we're going to take a quick preview of PHINMS 2.8.01 Service Pack 1. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the core updates in the application as well as some of the console updates. Some of the PHINMS core updates include the upgrade of Tomcat application server version 6.0.26. This provides an important security fix to the PHINMS application. And also in this release, we now provide support for Windows Vista, Windows 7, and Windows 2008. In this release, there are some Oracle database fixes providing for enhanced support for payload to disk. And in this version, we have enhanced the LDAP cache architecture, allowing PHINMS better management of the public keys and certificates that are downloaded by VeriSign. And for those users who are familiar with updating the PHINMS configuration files manually, we have fixed the XML formatting in this release. And in this release, we have removed the ping server from fresh installs, allowing users to simply ping the CDC staging server or production server for testing network connectivity. Some of the console changes in this release: the PHINMS restart dialog box has been updated, so on restart you won't see the irregularities dialog box unless there is a true irregularity with the system. We have added a delete all alarms feature in the alarms section of PHINMS, allowing users to clear out any old alarms that they do not want in the list. And also we have a new table view filter, allowing PHINMS users to view only those messages that are successful or failed or queued or attempted. And also we have added a new console configuration for the secondary key store feature in PHINMS. We'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. We fixed some of the database configuration defects in the console. Some users had problems when managing more than one database with the database configurations becoming corrupt. And in this release, we have added a delete LDAP cache button to the console, allowing users to manually purge any old certificates from the encryption memory. And lastly, route not read update. In the console, users are now able to view incoming messages for route not read. And here we are in the PHINMS console looking at the main window. And I have selected a queue where I have several messages that have been sent. I wanted to show you the filter messages view, and on the right side you will see a drop-down list, and in this list you can choose those messages that you want to see, whether they are success or failed or queued or attempted. This is important for those users who have hundreds or thousands of messages, and trying to dig through all the messages just to find a few failed messages is sometimes complicated. For route not read, over here on the left side, in previous versions these messages would not show up in the console as part of a defect with the refresh on the screen. So we have fixed that in this release of PHINMS. Showing you the configure restart button. On restart in older versions of PHINMS, you would always see a PHINMS has been restarted with irregularities. The irregularities is now gone unless there is a true irregularity. So click OK. Click on Configure and Sender, and I'll show you on the General tab the Delete LDAP cache. This is important when troubleshooting messages that are not getting decrypted correctly at a receiver site. Sometimes your sender will download a certificate from VeriSign, and that certificate will become stale, and if you delete the LDAP cache, it will force PHINMS to go out and re-download a fresh copy of the certificate. So I'll click on Cancel, click on Configure and Receiver, and if I click on General, we'll talk a little bit about the security with the key stores. In PHINMS receivers, you typically will have a cert that you use to decrypt a message, and in many cases you might have the cert stored in a folder as something like travis.pfx, for example. Now, in this release, we have added console feature here to add a primary and a secondary key store. So this is important at the end of the year when your certificate expires. You may rename your certificate to include the name and a year, And as an example, I might say that my certificate expires on November 15th, and I go out on November 10th and get a new certificate. I may download it, and let's call it travis2011.pfx, and put in my password here. And I'll take my existing cert and simply rename it to travis2010.pfx. And what this does is I essentially tell the system to decrypt the messages with my new certificate, and if that fails for any reason, try my old certificate just in case it's an old message coming across the wire, and keep doing that up until I tell you not to, based on this key store expiration. So if my cert expires on November 15th, I might tell the system to keep trying to decrypt them until November 16th. And the date formatting is important here, but there's a little note down at the bottom that tells you the format. So this is an important feature, and we will write up a how-to document and post it on the web in case any users have more questions about this. I'll click on cancel and quickly go to the alarms section of PHINMS, and we'll click and see if we have any sender alarms. Looks like I have 4 sender alarms ready to go here, and in this version of PHINMS we have added a delete all alarms feature. In the previous version, if you had 4 or 400 alarms, you would have to click on each alarm and click resolve alarm in order to get rid of any little error messages in the system that are warning you about possible issues. Some users may not open their console for several months and may just want to purge all the alarms when they open the console. And in this case now you can come in and just click on delete all alarms, and you can now just purge all the old alarms. We'll say alarms deleted successfully, and they're all gone. So we'll exit out of the console here, and I want to take a quick look at the PHINMS website. If you go to cdc.gov/fin/PHINMS, you'll see pages changed a little bit here, an announcement for the 2801 SP1 release. And if you click on installation, you will see the release notes for 2801 SP1 under the PHINMS 2.8 section. And one final note in 2801 SP1, we did do a significant amount of work to improve the upgrade architecture in the installation package. So those users upgrading from 2.8 or 2801 to 2801 SP1 will have fewer problems and should enjoy a more successful transition. And thank you for joining us today for this quick review of 2801 SP1. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at fintech@cdc.gov. Thank you.